In the top of the third round and no contract. That's what Old Red flipped. Maybe he feels so. You interview guys.
I was like cringing for Showoff and ARP.
Interview people. You guys do interviews. Interview ARP. Interview Showoff, and let's see what happened there. That's a big deal. If you want to flip, if Old Red flips you, oh, you talking about you're a contract killer in the first 2 minutes of the battle, and he flips like, oh, you are a contract. You're a contract person. That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. That's a really big thing that we're not really touching on heavily.
Bigger than I.
So maybe that's like
if you don't say nothing, that says a lot.
That's like
if you don't say anything,
people say I'm not under contract.
Says a lot.
But then you see his contract. You see his contract. You know what I mean? It kind of refutes everything that you're saying. If you're saying one thing and it's something else, you know, there's no gray areas.
That's true.
So I mean, that's true. Like you said, that is definitely interview guys, get ARP.
ARP, you're a smart businessman. Friends or not, you know what the deal is with these battle rappers, man.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy ARP, Urban Entertainment is the movement, back with another video for y'all. Shout out to Champion, that whole platform. Y'all niggas is doing y'all thing with that shit. Shout out to Tech 9, OG in the battle rap game, you know what I'm saying? Like, body bag and a body bag will forever be like a Hall of Fame fucking level quote. You know what I'm saying? You got Jay Black, one of the best bloggers of all time. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. Vodafly, shout out to Vodafly. Mark for the PG bloggers. I see y'all doing y'all thing, so I appreciate y'all covering the battle. Appreciate everybody that's covering the battle. Please keep talking about Old Red versus Showoff. It's a great fucking battle, a lot of replayability. First topic today, Showoff's contract. Let's take a step back for a second. Let's talk about setting up Old Red and Showoff. Already off rip, let me give y'all some exclusives, some behind the scenes shit. We've been saying it. We gotta get people like Showoff, even people like Jay Murder out of these battles that look like it's just some bully shit because you get pigeonholed. They like trolls Showoff for a reason. Didn't y'all see the prediction blog from Daylight? You think he spent half the blog going in on Showoff for no fucking reason?
I don't believe Showoff should be on the card at all. He haven't deserved to even have a battle with Mav. That's just how I feel. And if you got something to say about the show, you could always come get this work.
But in the case of BST5, too much time was passing. Like, me and Daylight couldn't get on the same schedule, on the same page. Like, it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He had all this shit going on. RBE had a bunch of shit going on. So, that battle became Old Red versus Showoff. I mean, hopefully Daylight and Showoff happen whenever. So Old Red gets that call. Red's like, there's really only one person over there that makes sense to me right now. I'm like, shit, that's exactly who I'm calling you for. So we get most of the business squared away. And at that point, it's contract time. Let's switch lanes for a second. When you get booked for an opponent, especially creative battle rappers, and you're coming up with your angles and you're doing your homework, you're studying footage, what's the type of shit we see come up all the time? Your opponent's controversy, their business that's out in the street, you attack their mottos, you attack their stigmas, where they live, where they from, all types of shit. Red obviously even looked at Showoff versus Jay. He talked about the hoodie Showoff was wearing, 5 zips, right? Pay attention. Some creative battle rappers out there come up with something else too. It's risky. You know what they are? They're interactive setups. You don't see them too often. Give y'all a few examples. Serious Jones versus Jims. Jims did it. The whole swear to God shit. Now he's going through his swear to God. He kind of had a haymaker in there because he had a personal that he dug up on Serious. Serious though had some shit in his pocket that he kind of prepped for just in case it came up. I guess maybe he might have seen a tweet or some shit from Jims talking about, we'll wait until y'all hear this, I'm gonna expose him. Who knows? But Serious Jones prepped for that. You gotta be careful when you do interactive shit. You gotta lay the trap a certain way so that regardless of how the person responds, you still have a way to angle it. What do I mean by that? That'll lead me into like the second example. Pat Stay versus Hollow. You notice that when he did the news reporter shit, right? No matter how Pat Stay reacted, whether he was quiet, whether he did something funny, Hollow had a response for it.
Could you define real?
Hello.
Oh, you're trying to be funny. You're lying still. Please.
I think in The Untold Truth on Hollow, I think he breaks that down of like being risky and doing shit like that that's real creative. Because you never know what's gonna happen when he throws money in the air, when he's battling Sue Surf, when he does a reporter setup for Pat Stay. So that leads me into O-Red versus Showoff. I'm pretty sure O-Red told y'all himself that because those type of setups are risky, because they're interactive, you don't know what the people on the stage and somebody else is gonna do when you're asking a question. He said he took it out of his round.
It was some shit that I had on my third that I wasn't gonna say, but based off how he introduced himself in the battle, I said, all right, fuck it, let's talk about it.
Here is why O-Red put it back in his round. You know how you're doing your introductions, battle to my left, battle to my right, and all that shit? Showoff was going through his regular intro, but somebody at the front of the stage in the crowd.
Show your no contracts. No contracts, never, nigga. I ain't never put my hand on a piece of paper.
Said, yo, no contract, kill it, nigga. And Showoff responded to him.
When we started this battle, you called yourself the no contract killer.
This is just me being analytical. Like, O-Red can probably confirm this shit. Like, ask him. But this is just me analyzing the situation. I think that spotlight on that moment, because somebody in the crowd responded to Showoff and said that to him, and Showoff responded back, I think that triggered it in O-Red's head and said, you know what? I could use that now. I'm gonna put that shit back in my round. Even though it's risky, I'm gonna put that right back in the beginning of my round. So the whole no contract killer reputation that Showoff carries, he's always promoting it, RBE promotes it as well. It could become a targeted angle for anybody that Showoff battles, the same way any stigma that somebody carries out there. Any battler, motherfuckers might sit down and write to it. This is the same reason why I predicted O-Red to be ad, if y'all saw my prediction. He brings that creativity to his bars and to his performance. Oops battle, he's doing schemes and setups, leading off of some of the shit that he predicts for Oops into a bulletproof vest and all types of crazy setups. So O-Red opens up his third round, he gets into that whole setup. How did I feel at that moment, to answer Mark from the PG Bloggers? You know, at first, caught off guard, like, fuck, oh, here we go. But niggas, you know, bring hosts and the league owners into the bars every day, B. So, you know, it's all entertainment. I'm trying to enjoy it, but I'm listening as the shit is getting developed. So it's like, nah, we gonna pull out ARP. We can ask him right here on the spot about a contract, your contract. So at first, I'm being quiet, right? And O-Red, I thought, kind of set me in a trap to be quiet by saying, you talk through battles, right? And that's why when he asked his first question, I was quiet.
You talk through battles, right? You sent me a contract to sign, facts?
Because he laid that first trap. Like, you talk through battles, right? So at that point, if I speak and I fuck up his scheme, everybody gonna attack me. So that would have been a real smart way to put me in a position, even though it's an interactive bar and setup that I can ruin, but put me in a position to shut up and be quiet. That would be smart writing. So I'm quiet, but then because I don't answer, crowd starts going crazy. O-Red's like, yo, you gonna look crazy if you don't answer. So he's telling me like, no, I didn't write it a certain way. I really want you to answer. And then on this side, Showoff is like, no, answer him.
It's gonna look crazy. It's gonna look crazy if you don't say nothing. It's gonna look crazy.
So now I got the cosign from both sides. So ain't nobody gonna tell me I'm fucking nobody's round up or I'm helping somebody land a haymaker, no shit. Nah, fuck that. I got both sides saying, yo, green light. Speak up. Answer this shit. Then this nigga O-Red lays a second trap. He says, the contract you sent me, right? Or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I sent you a contract. And he says, the same one you sent Showoff, right? That was a trap. That's like if your shorty got you under pressure and you call your man on speaker and be like, yo, wasn't I with you last night? And he's like, oh, I know the answer now. Like, yeah, you was with me. So I answered him, honestly, on the spot. No, not the same one that I sent him. Then he said, so you didn't send him a contract? I said, no. You didn't send him a contract? I said, no again. So he said, okay, when you sent me a contract whose name was on the bottom line scrap, I was honest that whole time on stage, man. I wasn't gonna lie on either side. I said, Showoff's name was on the contract that I sent you. Exactly. So why is his name on the contract? That was a good setup. And at that point, crowd going crazy, crowds erupting, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said, because now that he got his setup landing in the building, if I continue to argue or go back and forth with Red at this point, You know, now I'm in the wrong, I feel like. Now I'm trying to take away from his fucking, which one, no, fuck that, now let me argue some more and talk about that. Nah, like, let it go. Let it go, like, you know, do you, Red? Good shit, like, whatever setup you wrote, it obviously worked in the building. But what does that mean? See, our contracts have 2 lines with the battlers' names on it. One is the person that's receiving the contract and who you're agreeing to battle. So the contract don't just say, yo, you're agreeing to battle on RBE. It's saying you're agreeing to battle this person on RBE. Anybody that got an RBE contract could expose that. Because it's O-Red and Showoff, me, ARP, I had the names reversed on accident. So where O-Red's name was supposed to be, it said Showoff. And where Showoff's name was supposed to be, it said O-Red. Typo. Red hits me back. Yo, where my name is supposed to be, it said Showoff. Oh, my bad, let me email you another one. Let me fix that. But nigga, you ain't answering if Showoff has a contract or not. Okay, so let's answer that. And let's make sure we understand what we're talking about when we say contract. There's 2 types of contracts that people really refer to in battle rap. You got a battle-to-battle / situation-to-situation contract. Like I might send Big K a contract to battle Showoff, and then he sends it back signed, and then he gets his money and all that shit. Okay. But a lot of times when y'all hear contract, y'all think about like somebody that signs to a league, and then there's all types of stipulations around it. Where you can battle, when you can and you can't battle, what you can and you can't do, that type of shit. Does Showoff have one of those where you can only battle on RBE, or if you try to do something else, you know, I gotta get a piece of it, or you gotta go through me, or I gotta approve it, or never. So did he ever sign one of the other type of contracts? Nope. Never signed even a single battle-to-battle contract. Why is that though, ARP? You got all these people coming into RBE and 40 bars, O-Red, Arsenal, Averb, all these goods, all these people coming in, they sign contracts for their battles that they got coming up on the RBE platform. How come Showoff ain't signing the contract? Nigga, we don't believe you, you need you. Cool, no problem. I'll give you a little bit of history behind that too. Showoff actually isn't the only person that doesn't sign contracts when he battles on RBE. Another person would be Jim's. I think Jim signed 1 contract, his first battle on RBE for Rich Dollars. He's never signed a contract after that. Jim's last 2 battles on RBE was Averb and Sirius Jones. He can't show you an RBE contract for those battles, and neither can we. Doesn't exist. We got a handful of people on RBE that we just move like that with. It's just the trust, the rapport, you know, what we've built, rocking with each other like that. You know what I'm saying? You could probably guess some of those people that's consistently on RBE. We don't sign a lot of contracts with them. Big Cannon, I sign contracts with, but not because he's not on the inside circle of RBE. I look at him the same way I look at like Jim's and Showoff, like that's my peoples right there, like that's my homie. The only reason why somebody like Cannon gets a contract and Showoff doesn't is because how we started off. When I approach Big Cannon don't know who the fuck I am. I'm just some new league owner saying that his shit is called Rare Breed Entertainment, but I know him very well. I'm fresh off of going to fucking Chicago and watching him give one of my favorite performances of 1-round battles ever versus Cortez. And having like one of the biggest moments / rebuttals in battle rap history versus Big T. That's who I know, that's who I'm talking to. You don't know me from a fucking hole in the wall, but I'm gonna show this man that I got a lot of respect for and that I know very well. My business is tight, and yeah, you should fuck with RBE. So here's a contract. That's not how I met Showoff. When I met Showoff, I didn't really know who he was, like he explained himself. Do the history on the channel, you see a lot of this shit that's already been said, but fuck it, let's walk back through it. You know, Showoff ran down on me in the trap house. He was there for a battle, you know what I mean, that he got ducked on, but I think he had a switched opponent. You know what I mean? And he was just fucking with RBE. And I saw his talent and I fucked with him too. Told Shotta like, yo, this nigga Showoff, like let's get him a battle. Had Hazy Williams. You know what I'm saying? But that happens a lot in battle rap. When you got an up and comer or somebody that don't really have a name at the time and they're coming into a league, there's really not too much business going on at that time. There's really not too much to lock in or to protect yourself from. So I don't need to give Showoff a contract. But after that, it's Swave Sever, it's Ill Will, it's, you know his resume over here. But we started fucking with each other so heavy and developed a respect for each other and a rapport and a trust and a loyalty. that we just never went back to it. Like, need a contract for what? You know my word is my word. I know your word is your word. So we never did a contract. Not a single signed piece of paper between RBE and Showoff. Is that clear enough? And before we jump into topic number 2, Showoff's retirement, I want to say this. You know, we carry a lot of respect for the battlers that come on RBE and put on. And I didn't even really want to talk about something like this. Why? Because it can possibly detract from old Red's shit. Like, imagine if people were saying at that moment decides the whole battle, and then I was blogging on it right here. That would kind of be fucked up to old Red. You know what I'm saying? But I don't take it like that. So, you know, I feel like it's cool to speak on. Plus, I hit Red and told him that this vlog was coming out of respect. Because even though Showoff is one of the faces, if not the face of RBE, right? I still respect the people that's coming on RBE to battle him or battle on RBE, period. That's good business. That's not lining people up. That's not putting people in situations where we can't get great battles or we making one side look good or one side bad. Nah, once that coin flips, it's every man for himself. I gotta respect the both sides, even though Big Cannon, JC, Adi Boom, Jim, Showoff, these my niggas. But when they battle on the RBE stage, nah, I can't do the other side like that. And y'all see that. Y'all see that. Y'all see that in all these battles that's dropping. So that's why I'm speaking on it right now too. That's why I feel like I got the clear lane to speak on it without taking away from Old Red and disrespecting his creativity. But at the same time, even in the building, I didn't feel like there's anything to speak to. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess I'm thinking from my shoes. And the very first time that I heard about, damn, like what the fuck is this? It's kind of questionable. I heard it from Showoff's direction. And I'm gonna keep it 100. Like I DM'd him after I heard about it and I'm like, nigga, you bugging. But here's what happened. I still thought he was bugging, and at that point I wasn't gonna address it because we all grown men, niggas disagree every day, B. Second time I heard about the shit, battle drop, my nigga Reem hit me up. A lot of y'all know Reem, he's at like almost every RBE event. Couldn't make it to that one, calls me after watching the battle, like, yo, what happened in the third? I'm like, this is a nigga that knows me like the back of his hand, and he's questioning like, what the fuck? It's the second time I heard of it. The third time was this fucking champion blog. And shout out to everybody up there, but that's where I gotta take a step back and I gotta respect the fact that sometimes perception is reality. I hope we touched on everything. If we didn't, shoot me a tweet or drop a comment down here in the video. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely do my best to make sure I keep up with everybody. Appreciate everybody's support as always. RBE shit on the way. I mean, the next card is like 80% locked in, 80% done. And the card after that, actually, we already started booking as well. You know what I mean? So our next 2 cards, y'all are gonna get announcements for real soon. Starting 5, a lot of people tweet me about that. Starting 5 Volume 2 was probably gonna be the top of 2018. We want that to be our first card of 2018, hopefully, but we'll see what happens. We tried to get it done this year and it didn't happen, so don't hold me to that. I ain't giving y'all no promises, but that series, we love that shit, the entirely judged card, money on the line and all types of shit. We're gonna be doing all that for the Start 5 series, so we got y'all. It's your boy, I'm out of here.
My flow hard, knock you out your sneakers. No charge, I could not be cheaper. Though I'm a star, I am not a diva. I'm going far, I am not a cheater. I play the game right, I don't ask for much, spell my name right. Think you brave till your name's on the gravesite. My 16s get a stage life. Bone crusher, I ain't never scared. I'm strapped up like Metal Gear. Another man I will never fear. I work hard, blood, sweat, and tears. It ain't fair, please. I beat up the beat and make the snare bleed. No sudden moves, don't you dare breathe. ARP, I'm a rare breed. Shout out to Shotta too.